Welcome to the video. I'm going to spend today at Carlsbad Caverns, which is a huge cave system in New Mexico near the Texas border. I wanted to see it for a long time, so really looking forward to this. The visitor center for Carlsbad Caverns is at the top of a mountain, and then you have to take all of these switchbacks to get actually down into the cave. You can either walk down through the switchbacks or take the elevator, but the walking part, you see a lot more. You miss some things if you take the elevator. So I walked. Bats flying around down there. This is gonna be awesome. That's the sound of bats. It came from all the way up there. Now we're all the way down here. It's gonna be tough to video a lot of stuff because it's dark, but we'll see. How cool is this? This place is huge. I'm on the first tour of the day, and somehow I managed to get ahead of everybody else. So I've got this whole place to myself right now. It's pretty awesome. Check it out. It's amazing. As you can see why it's called Whale's Mouth. I don't know how well you can see this, but this goes way up. See all the stalactites from the ceiling? There's some really big ones right there. This is amazing. This is the coolest cave I've been to. Some of these formations are just incredible. I mean, look at that. And up here. And then look at the size of these. It's got to be 15 feet tall, this one, the first one. That's thousands of years of buildup right there. This looks like a futuristic little city or something, like from the Jetsons. That's pretty awesome. That's called the New York skyline, for good reason. Heading into the big room. This is amazing. Look at all these formations in here. I mean, look at this back here. That is so awesome. These are probably the last shots I'm taking from in here because the video just does not do this justice. You got to come see this for yourself. Fantastic. Okay, I lied. Couldn't pass this up. That thing has to be at least 50, 75 feet high. So I went on the natural entrance and big room self-guided tours, which were really awesome. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do the King's Palace tour because I tried to book it online over a month ago, and it was all sold out right away. It's one of those things where tickets went on sale at 8 a.m. and I started clicking at 7:59 a.m. and right at 8 o'clock they all sold out. So I was like, I guess I don't get to do the King's Palace tour. But then when I got here this morning, they said there was one ticket available for the 11:30 King's Palace tour. So I guess they reserved some of the tickets for people to walk in. So I got really lucky. So I went on the King Palace tour, and I'm going to show you some videos of that right now. I couldn't really talk much on it, so because it was ranger guided, but I did take some video, and here it is.
Feel free to take as many pictures you like and just sort of stand up, but do stay on that path. There is a big concrete bench for you guys to sit on if you guys would like to as you make your way in. When he got to the King's Palace, this big wide open room, he could set down his lantern, he could sort of dance around and get close in formations and explore without having to go up and down ropes and ladders. So that's why the naming conventions changed a little bit when he finally made it to this King's Palace. Did you notice much different about this cave compared to Mammoth and some of the other ones you've been in?
Okay, so what was interesting?
This one's gigantic.
So they did take torches and would go miles. And there's one for that. You get to make it what it is today with these Paston lights and stuff. So what are some of the ways that you guys noticed that we have changed? What's that?
These two are about to connect. Might take another 100 years. There's the Green Lake.
Splashes from the strips end up building up to form all this little cave platform on this.
So I got to say, Carlsbad Caverns was amazing. probably one of the top 5 national parks I've ever been to. I've been in a lot of caves too, and that was the coolest cave I've ever been in. So many amazing formations, and if you're able to do the King's Palace tour, that added a whole other dimension to it. The big room part of it was really awesome, and then the King's Palace tour was also really awesome, but in a different way. So if you're able to do both tours, I would definitely recommend it. And I did both tours, and it's right now around 1:30. I got here, my first tour was at 8:30, and now it's around 1:30, and I'm done for the day. I've seen everything there is to see. So I'm gonna head out and see what else I can do today. And tomorrow I will hit Guadalupe Mountains National Park, which is very close here, less than an hour. So I'm gonna see if there's anything else I can hit today. I think there might be some cool trails nearby. I'm gonna check them out. So it turns out it was way too windy to do any more hikes. The winds were around 50 miles an hour. So I decided to just go back to my hotel room. This is a view of my hotel right here. Kind of looks like a prison. It's actually pretty nice on the inside. And it was cheap, so it was worth it. So Guadalupe Mountains tomorrow. Headed into Texas to see Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Made it to Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Gonna do a hike up to the Guadalupe Peak, which is supposed to be really tough. So let's see if we can do it. 8+ miles. It's supposed to be pretty steep. We'll see. Let's go. They said the first 1.5 miles of this hike is steep, and they're not kidding. But this is a really cool view we got here. It's cold today. I've only gone up by like a 1/4 mile. It's cold today, around 35 degrees, and it was in the 70s yesterday. So a lot colder today, which I guess is good, so I won't die of the heat. This is a tough one. It's been pretty steep so far, but getting amazing views. It's warmed up a little too, so the layers are coming off. It's gonna be a long one. This is awesome. Right on the edge of the cliff here. Very, very cool. Just passed an old guy, 73, doing this hike. Can't see where I'm going. 73-year-old guy doing this hike. Hope I'm doing this when I'm 73. That's the plan anyway. I've gone about 1.25 miles so far. Come all that way. Still got a long way to go. The wind just blew my hat off, and it went way down there somewhere. So I guess I'm not getting that back. Maybe I'll find it on the way back down, but I'm not holding my breath. That was a gift from my daughter, Julia. Sorry, Julia. It was good while it lasted. Hopefully I'll find it again. It's a bummer. I made it to the other side of the ridge, and it got really windy. That right there is my 2 least favorite words in the English language. False peak. That's not the real peak. The real peak is behind it. That's why it's called a false peak. You can see it continuing up there. Wow, it's windy. Look how far I've come. I had to climb up to that ridge, and now I've come all this way up to here. Still got more to go, but that's the great thing about long, strenuous hikes, is get a great sense of accomplishment from seeing where you've been, and also he teaches you to just keep going. You'll eventually reach your goal. So heading up this way, let's press on. I'm about 3 miles in, 3.2 miles in. I've gained about 2,400 feet in elevation, and I still gotta go up there. Ah, there's the trail. I'm in for a good time. There's actually a little bridge up here. Who'd have thought? Well, it's a good thing they put it here. I don't know how we would have gotten across otherwise. All right, here we go. Heading up there. Look at this view. There it is. Highest point in the state of Texas. Did it. What an amazing view from up here. It was a great hike. A little over 4 miles up here. About 3,000 feet of elevation gain. Totally worth it. Here's the view from the other side. I timed this perfectly. Yesterday was really, really windy, like 50-mile-an-hour winds. And I was in a cave at Carlsbad Caverns. And today, not nearly as windy. Beautiful day. A little hazy, but not too terrible. I can still see for miles. So, made it to the highest point in Texas. So, I'm gonna have lunch, head back down. Probably won't video much on the way down, unless something exciting happens like me finding my hat. So, having a lunch, go to the visitor center, and maybe take the scenic drive. Yay! Made it! Made it down to the bottom, in spite of the fact that I lost my hat. That was a great hike. Kind of strenuous, but it was tough in the beginning. First mile and a half was tough, and then it flattened out a little more. It still went up, but flattened out more. So it was less steep for the next 2 miles, and then the last half mile was pretty steep. But it was worth it. It took me about 5 hours round trip, and that's including spending about half an hour at the top, eating lunch and admiring the view. So definitely worth doing. And now I'm going to go to the visitor center and see what else there is to see in this park. I'm not doing any more hikes today because my legs are killing me. The hike down was pretty brutal because it was steep and my knees are not what they used to be, but still worth it. So let's see what's at the visitor center and check out the rest of the park. Okay, so apparently there are no roads in the park. It's all wilderness. So, but the ranger told me that there's a couple of pullouts on the highway like this one where you get a good view. So that's pretty cool. It's the best view I've had so far of Guadalupe Mountains. This right here is called El Capitan, and that's 8,000 feet. But this over here is Guadalupe Peak, and that's actually higher, and that's where I was, on the top of that. How cool is that? It was a brutal hike, but it was so worth it. You can tell I'm by the side of the highway. So my take on Guadalupe Mountains National Park was it was a nice park. I really enjoyed it. I thought that hike up to Guadalupe Peak was strenuous, but definitely worth it. The views were pretty amazing. And it turns out there's not a lot of other stuff to do there. There's a McKittrick Canyon Trail and also a Devil's Hall Trail that are supposed to be pretty cool. But I think what I'm rather going to do is go down to Big Bend tomorrow and check that out because that's supposed to be a nicer park. So, and bigger. So they said to spend a couple of days there. The other thing about Guadalupe Mountains is there are 10 different hikes I could name in Utah that are not national parks that are just as nice as that and that I've been on. So I'm not sure why that qualifies as a national park, but it's pretty nice. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad I went. And plus it was my 40th national park. So tomorrow at Big Bend, that'll be my 41st. And then I still have 22 more to go because there's 63 national parks right now. So I will show you that in the next video, and I will see you then.